Hi, and welcome to Wonder Years Wednesday. My name's Wendy Sellers, but the kids nicknamed me the Puberty Lady because I love to talk about puberty. And I've been doing a series of book reviews for parents, caregivers, and other trusted adults to help them have ongoing conversations with their kids about puberty. Last week, I overviewed 5 books to help prepare families for menarche, which is the first menstrual cycle in a female bodied young person. And this week, I'm going to highlight 3 books that are written especially for girls ages 8 to 10, so the younger age range of those who are starting to experience puberty. So let's go ahead and get started. The first book that I would like to overview is called Ready, Set, Grow, and it's written by Linda Medeiros. And Linda has several other books too and is a very popular author. This one is written specifically for girls ages 8 to 10. It's a softcover book that was published in 2003, and it has 128 pages with cute drawings, helpful information, and sidebars with tips, highlighted details, and quotes from girls. So let me show you one of these sidebars. You can see that they are highlighted in pink and have lots of helpful tips in them. The information is presented in a very lighthearted, body positive manner, and the explanations are clear and simple and focus on normalizing puberty. Each of the 10 chapters ends with a Q&A section. So here is an example of the Q&A that is at the end of one of the chapters. So that's very helpful. The second book that I would like to highlight is called The Period Book. And this book is written by Karen Gravel, and it's a girl's guide to growing up. This softcover book was published in 1996, and then it was updated in 2017. It has 144 pages that are more text heavy than the Medeiros book. I'll show you an example of that. You can see that the text is written in purple ink and has hot pink highlights. They do have some cartoon drawings to illustrate some of the concepts. Um, the the book reads more like a novel because of the text heaviness, and it has 12 chapters with lots of information. The third book that I want to overview today is called The Care and Keeping of You, #1. There's a #2 book too, which is for older ages. So this is the first of the 2 book series, and it's written by Valerie Lee Schaefer, and the American Girl Company published it. So quite often people refer to this as the American Girl book. This softcover book was published in 1998, and then it was updated in 2012. It has 104 pages that include large, colorful illustrations. I'll show you an example of that. You can see that it's very light in text and has lots of illustrations in place of a lot of text. And it begins with a pep talk about being the boss of your own body, and it addresses the care of the body in a step-by-step fashion with 6 chapters. Each chapter focuses on a different part of the body. Now, all 3 of these books do cover some of the main issues related to puberty and menstruation in girls. So they all cover stages of breast growth, bras, and how to size bras and the different kinds of bras, body hair, the pros and cons of shaving, pimples, sweating, body odors, external and internal anatomy, but they cover the external and internal anatomy differently, and I'll highlight that in just a moment. They talk about physical activity, and the Schaefer book, the American Girl book, has a section on sports safety, rest, and sleep that the other 2 don't have. They cover nutrition, and the Medeiros and Gravel book include eating disorders and the importance of calcium in building bone structure, and body image is also addressed in all 3 books. All the books include signs that the body is getting ready to begin menstruation, what takes place before menstruation starts, They explain the menstrual cycle, cramps, PMS, pads, and tampons. The Medeiros and the Gravel book include a thorough explanation of how to use tampons and warnings about how to avoid toxic shock syndrome that is not present in the American Girl book. They all talk about the amount of menstrual flow to expect and what to do to happen, what to do if your menstrual cycle starts when you're away from home, which is, of course, a main concern of everyone who menstruates, right? Um, these two books, the Medeiros and the Gravel book, both explain that the clitoris is sensitive and can result in pleasurable, sexy feelings when it's touched, but only the Medeiros book discusses menstruation. And this book doesn't talk about the clitoris at all. And its diagrams of the reproductive system are very scanty. Both of these books include a chapter on what to do about sexual harassment, and the Medeiros book also includes a short piece on what to do about sexual abuse. The Gravel book here also includes a section on braces, sexting, changing friendships, and romantic feelings, and it includes a diagram of the male reproductive, external reproductive organs, whereas the Medeiros book and the American Girl book do not address the male reproductive system or changes in puberty at all. The Schaefer book here, the American Girl book, includes more on feelings and begins and ends with a brief discussion about building your internal character traits. So ways these books are and are not inclusive. The drawings in all three books include representation from multiple races and ethnicities. The Medeiros book is the only one that includes different physical abilities. It includes drawings of young people in wheelchair. The Gravel book is heterosexual, clearly in its discussion about romantic feelings. And I found, because these are all basically heterosexual focused and non-gender inclusive, I did find a book about periods that's written especially for young people with autism, and I'll post that link in the comment section. And I also found a book that was written in Great Britain, if you'd like to compare the approach that the Brits take to the approach that the Americans take in the way they write about puberty for young girls and menstruation. These books are also very body positive. All of them are very body positive. They take a very positive tone, very empowering tone, which is awesome. And they all encourage girls to talk to trusted adults if they have questions or concerns about anything related to puberty. The Medeiros and the Gravel book have helpful indexes in the back so that you can look up topics that are of interest. As young girls grow, they may find some topics more interesting at one point in puberty and different topics of interest later in puberty. These two books, the Medeiros and the Gravel book, include clear diagrams and explanations about the menstrual cycle in detail. They encourage girls to use a mirror to look at their external genitalia so that they can get familiar with their bodies and how to take care of them. The Schaefer book, the American Girl book, only has a very vague diagram of a uterus and a vagina. And those parts are labeled, and there's a vague explanation about how menstruation works. So this book does not go into much detail at all and will leave the young person with other questions, I'm sure. And then none of these books discusses sexual intercourse or puberty changes in boys. And so this is what makes these good for the younger range of girls who are beginning puberty. If you want them to start to understand body changes and menstruation, but you're not quite ready to talk to them about sexual intercourse or male-bodied people, these books would be a good choice. Of course, I would recommend that you teach them about those things eventually, but if you want to start here, these books are for you. So in summary, These books make good starter books for younger girls ages 8 to 10, approximately grades 4 to 6, since they're beginning information focused on girls and don't include sexual intercourse. They are gender binary, however, and won't work well for trans or gender fluid kids. I prefer the Medeiros book, if you wonder what I think. Um, I really thought that even though this is an older book, I thought her explanations were much more youth friendly and clearer for this age group. And I think that the Schaefer book, the American Girl book, is a bit light on information and would be more appealing for an even younger age group, so third to fourth graders probably. Um, Thank you for joining me this week for Wonder Years Wednesday. I look forward to hearing from you. Please put any comments or questions you have in the comment section, and I will provide some links to help you find these books, as well as the one on autism and the one written in Great Britain that I mentioned. And thank you for joining me for Wonder Years Wednesday. I hope that you stay safe, well, and strong. Thank you.